Hello, radiant soul, peace and boundless blessings to you today. Welcome back to God Message Channel. If you're hearing this right now, it's not by chance, it's a divine appointment. Please subscribe now and enable all notifications so you never miss a whisper from heaven meant just for you. The Lord has commanded me to deliver this urgent message to you because there is something very big about to happen in your life this month, and if you ignore it you may miss the chance that changes everything. Your angel is trying to talk to you, but you've been distracted by the wrong voices. Listen carefully, this message is not for everyone. It is exclusive to chosen people who are feeling in their hearts that something invisible is trying to reveal itself. You feel it, something in your spirit is restless. It seems that a new phase wants to begin, but there is a blockage, a tension, a presence that tries to slow you down. This message is your exit key. It is the revelation that heaven has sent to you, but there is a detail his family shouldn't know, that not badly, not because of rejection, but because not everyone would understand what God is going to do to you. Not everyone is ready for the mission you carry. Not everyone would endure the glory that is about to manifest in their lives. You're about to take a step that's going to change everything, but before you move on, God sends word to you. Don't go, wait, listen, obey. This may be your last chance to receive this revelation. If you stop listening now, if you close this message, you may be turning your back on what has been planned in the spirit world for you. Stay with me until the end. What I am going to reveal to you is secret, it is prophetic, it is urgent. The enemy is already aware of what is coming, and so he is trying to distract you right now, but God sent an angel with a clear message. Wait, listen, get ready. What you've been waiting for years is already in motion. If you're listening to this message, it's because God has chosen you for something great. You may not see it with your eyes, but there is an intense movement happening in the spirit world right now. The heavens are at war because of you. What is about to happen is not common, it's not natural, it's supernatural. It is a reversal authorized by God Himself. Yes, something is approaching. Perhaps you are going through a moment of silence where it seems that God has been silent, where everything is still. But listen, God's silence is not absence, it is preparation. It is in silence that heaven organizes victory. And now this month the time for the demonstration has come. A change is about to invade your life so strongly that you will remember this video for years. You're going to say, that's where everything started to change. And it will be true, but not everyone will understand what God is doing to you. Not everyone will applaud. Some in your own household will doubt it. Others will criticize you, mock you, or even accuse you of being deluded. But don't worry, it's not their approval that you need, it is God's permission, and it has already been released. See, when God decides to intervene, He does so without consulting anyone. He chooses who He wants. He lifts up those who are fallen. He honors those who have been forgotten. What about you? You are the person chosen for this new time, but before this blessing reaches you, there is something that needs to be understood urgently. God does not allow major changes without first sending a spiritual warning, and that's exactly what you're getting right now. A divine warning, a sacred instruction, a spiritual summons. Have you ever felt like you're on the verge of something, like have a gut feeling that everything is going to change? That feeling doesn't come from your mind, it comes from the Holy Ghost. Often God disturbs the souls of those He wants to wake up. It allows the heart to be tight, sleep to be heavy, doors to close, not to punish, but to prepare. You are about to see with your own eyes the fulfillment of ancient promises. Things that have been prophesied about your life for years, and that you've even forgotten, are coming back to the surface. But listen carefully, this movement will not be common. It comes with intensity, He comes with purpose, and it comes with separation. Yes, there will be separation. Not everyone who is with you now will continue to the next phase, and that hurts, but it is necessary. You will understand very soon that what God is about to do requires silence, discernment, and faith. You are being spiritually repositioned. The enemy has already realized this, and therefore has tried to distract you with fights, confusion, doubts, fatigue, and even discouragement. But resist, stand firm, because this struggle you are facing is a sign that the blessing is already on its way in, and most importantly, don't Share everything you're feeling, not now nor with the family, not even with friends, nor with anyone who is not in the same spiritual frequency as you. This blessing has been revealed only to you and it needs to be protected. Have you ever wondered why among so many people this message is reaching precisely you? Why did heaven choose to warn you and not to others around you? The answer is clear: because you have a covenant with God. Even if you feel weak, tired, lost, or even unworthy, God knows your heart. He saw all the times you cried in silence. He heard the prayers you couldn't even finish. He knows the fight you have inside yourself, and yet you didn't give up, and that's why heaven separated you. You have been set apart to hear this message, because what is to come needs preparation, spiritual sensitivity, and unwavering faith. Not everyone is ready for this. Some would scoff, others would ignore it, many would miss the blessing, but you don't. You are being raised up as the spiritual pillar of your home. God wants to use you to protect, to liberate, to lead your family. You are the link between heaven and those who have not yet understood what is about to happen. And pay attention, this revelation cannot be told to anyone. There are things that God gives away in the secret of intimacy, for if they are exposed too soon, they will be destroyed by the tongue of the unbelievers. What is sacred needs to be guarded, and here's a direct warning from your angel: don't share this promise ahead of time. Do not expose God's plan to those who do not have faith. Keep it in your heart and keep believing, because when it arrives it will be impossible not to see it. Right now there is a spiritual light enveloping you. You're not watching this video by accident. This is a summons from heaven. God is opening your eyes to see beyond, to feel what others don't feel, to move with spiritual wisdom. Now, ask you something very important. If this message is touching your spirit, write in the comments, "Now I was chosen by God." State this in public. Testify to your faith. This simple attitude is a confirmation in the spirit world that you have received and accepted revelation. And enjoy this moment. Click now on subscribe here on the channel. This is not just a gesture, it is a prophetic act. You are connecting with messages that come from above, and you will always be among the first to receive the next divine revelations. Also hit the like. This helps this message reach other lives that are also being called. Now get ready, because in the next chapter you will find out what the angel saw in the spirit world about you. A door is about to open, but all is not as it seems. Your angel is up in arms for you, and in the last few hours he came down with a clear message. A great door is about to open, but only those who are spiritually ready will pass through it. Yes, there is a powerful opportunity reserved only for those who have persevered, but this door is not common. It's not for everyone, and it won't stay open for long. The angel showed me in spirit a dark road with many people walking, but few could see the light in the end. Those who could were guided by a luminous presence by their side, and these were being led to this great heavenly door, a door that represents restoration, justice, healing, prosperity, and deliverance. But there was a detail: the door only opened to those who trusted until the end. And now I ask you, do you trust? Do you trust enough not to give up even when it seems like nothing is happening? Do you trust enough to wait for God even when the response is delayed? Do you trust enough to shut up in the face of the mockery of others and keep the promise in your heart, as Mary did? Because this door that is about to open is an opportunity for a radical restart, a unique chance that will change your financial, family, and spiritual life. But the enemy knows this. That's why he's using people close to him to shake you. That is why the discouragement increased, doubts grew, the desire to drop everything became stronger. This is no coincidence. This is a direct attack on your destiny, but God sends you to tell you you are one step away from the miracle. Don't back down now. If you hold on a little longer, I'll show you what your eyes never imagined. This port represents answers. You will enter a station of clarity where everything will start to make sense. Doors that have been closed for years will open, as if they had never been locked. Hearts that were hardened will break. What seemed lost will be resurrected. But listen carefully. Don't try to open that door alone. Don't try to force something that is spiritual with natural weapons. It is the sky that will unlock. It is the Spirit who will Lead now is the time for silence, prayer and vigilance, because when the door opens you need to be ready to go in without fear, without hesitation, without looking back. You can no longer walk around distracted. You need to be in position. The angel is already ahead, and when it moves you need to follow it immediately. If you're listening to this right now, raise your hand and declare in faith, I am ready to walk through the door that God will open. Write that in the comments as well. Type now, I am ready to walk through the door. State this as a spiritual commitment, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, do so now. You need to be connected with this current of faith, with these messages that are preparing the way for your victory. Press subscribe and activate the notification bell. This way you will be notified whenever a new revelation is released here. What will happen to those who ignore this message? What I'm going to tell you now is heavy, but it is necessary, because when God sends a warning, it's not to cause fear, it's to save, it is to be freed, it is to preserve, it is to protect from the tragedy that could have been avoided. Many people hear messages like this, they feel the touch, the presence, the impact, but they close their hearts. They say it's just another video, just one more piece of advice, and they turn their backs on what heaven itself is trying to shout in their ears. The result, they are still stuck in the cycle of scarcity. They go in circles, they repeat the same mistakes, and they don't understand why life doesn't move forward. But listen carefully, God never sends a message without purpose. If He has brought you here, it is because there is something that needs to be corrected, aligned, or awakened in your life. And if you ignore it, the consequence will not be anger at God, it will be silence, and God's silence is what most distances man from his destiny. There are people who spend years praying, asking for direction, asking for answers, and when it arrives as it does now, they don't pay attention, they don't take it seriously, they treat what is holy as common. It was so with the people of Israel in the wilderness. They had the cloud by day, the fire by night, the bread that fell from heaven, and even so they murmured, doubted, ignored. What happened? They spent 40 years walking in a circle. They saw the promised land, but they didn't. And why? Because they despised the voice of God. Listen, you are now at a spiritual crossroads. On the one hand, obedience, the delivery, faith on the other, doubt, indifference, and procrastination. God is telling you, son, daughter, don't put off until tomorrow what I'm calling you to do today. Don't harden your heart, don't pretend you didn't hear it. I'm calling you closer because I want to show you something that the natural eye can't see. Those who ignore this call, they will continue to knock on doors that do not open. They will trust people who will cheat. They will insist on paths that will fail, because without direction from above, everything becomes blind. But those who listen, those who obey, even without understanding, they will see the glory of God manifested. They will be spared accidents, losses, deception, false deals, and emotional traps. They will be led like sheep by the good shepherd. Do you think you're seeing this video by chance? It is not. This is a deliverance. This is God saying, I don't want you to fall. I don't want you to get lost. That's why I'm warning you now. This month, something will be unlocked, but only for those who listen and obey, only for those who take seriously what the sky is revealing. That's why this message was delivered only to you, not your family, not your friends, not your co-workers, only you, because the call is personal and the choice is spiritual. Now you know. Now there is no more excuse. You can go on living the same way, or you can take a stand. Open your heart and let God lead. But remember, ignoring this message is closing yourself off to the new time that has already begun to form. Prepare your heart, because perhaps this is the most difficult part of the eco-spiritual journey. When God begins to act in your life, the people closest to you will not always understand, and yes, that can include your husband, your wife, your children, your parents, siblings, even friends of the faith. You start to feel something different, a call, an inner fire, an urgency to pray, to separate, to seek more. But the people around him continue in the routine, cold, distant, indifferent, and this can make you think you're exaggerating, that it's getting weird, that he is alone. But listen carefully, you are not alone. You are being separated. Yes, separate, because there are times when God takes you out of the crowd and puts you in the desert, not to punish you but to prepare you. He grew up in the palace, but God took him into the desert for 40 years before using him to free an entire people. It was like that with Joseph, betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, humiliated and forgotten. But it was all part of the route to the throne, and now it's being like that with you. You can no longer fit into empty conversations. He no longer takes pleasure in the same distractions. His spirit is restless. You are on another frequency, and this scares those who are trapped in the natural world. That's why many won't support you. They will laugh at your prayers. They will call your faith fanaticism. They will accuse you of making things up. But listen to what God says to you. Don't worry if they don't understand you now, because very soon they will see with their own eyes what I will do in their lives, and when they see, they will know that it is I, the Lord, who chose you. Not everyone is ready for what is about to happen to you, and that's okay. This is also part of the plan. You will realize that the closer you are to the promise, the more selective God makes you. He closes cycles, it keeps people away, he silences voices around him, because there are things he can only do in silence, solitude, and obedience. Maybe you try to explain, maybe you try to convince your family, open your heart, share what you are feeling, but he found only coldness, rejection, incredulity. It hurts, but understand they haven't seen what you saw yet, they haven't heard what you heard yet, they still don't feel what you feel, but God is using you as a sign to them. You will be the first to break through, you'll be the first to thrive, you will be the first to experience the miracle, and when that happens, the same doubters will come to you for prayer, advice, direction. That's why you need to stay strong. Don't give up now, don't be silent for fear of rejection. God is preparing you to be light in the darkness of your home, and remember, not always the chosen ones are the most accepted. Obedient people are not always the most understood. Jesus said in his own house the prophet is not honored, but that didn't stop him from fulfilling the purpose, and it won't stop you either. God has already started something in you, and he will finish even if no one else understands. You get the idea, and that's enough. Feel it in your spirit. There is a cycle that is coming to an end. It's not just another month that comes, it's not just another day on the calendar. It is a spiritual season that is being closed by divine decree. You felt that this year started heavy, things took a long time to move, the feeling of repetition, of stagnation, of promises that did not get off the ground. All of this was part of a cycle of testing, purification, resistance, and now God is telling you clearly, the desert cycle is closing now, the time of harvest begins. But there's something important here. To enter the new cycle, you cannot carry the weight of the old. You can't take resentment, hurt, guilt, old fears. God is asking you to let go of baggage that doesn't come from him. You'll need to be light, to fly clean, to receive detached, to move forward. Look around, some doors closed, and you didn't understand. Some people left you, and you were confused. Some plans that seemed right went wrong, and you got frustrated, but none of this was a loss. Everything was pruned. God only cuts what hinders the fruit, and he is in a hurry. The time of flourishing has come. See, a cycle is closed not when everything is resolved, but when God determines that it is time to move forward, even if there are still unanswered questions, and that's what he's doing to you right now. You will realize that some places, habits, and even thoughts will no longer serve you. God's presence will bother you in environments where you once felt comfortable. Some conversations will lose their meaning. Certain distractions will feel empty. All of this is a sign that the anointing is changing. You are being repositioned. God is taking you out of the field of waiting and putting you in the field of action, from suffering to purpose, from the process to compliance. But understand, the new cycle will not be automatic. You need to recognize the closure of the old. You need to accept that something has died in order for something to be born. Remember the story of Abraham. He had to leave his father's house, abandon his land, and head towards something he didn't even know where it was. But it was this step of faith that opened the cycle of promise. God is asking something similar of you. Maybe he's asking you to leave an idea, a relationship, a comfort zone, and that sounds scary, but it is at this exact point that the cycle turns. When you obey, even without seeing, when you say goodbye to what is old, even if you have no visible evidence of the new, when you say, Lord, I don't understand everything, but I trust in your timing because there is a specific time for everything, and the sky is announcing this is the time of the turn. In the coming days you will begin to feel this more clearly. Doors will open effortlessly, people will be removed without a fight, new ideas will sprout in your heart like seeds, and you'll realize that you're being guided by something much bigger than logic. This new cycle is one of growth, provision, and direction, but it starts with a choice to stay in the safe place of the old man or trust in God to live the new that He has prepared. You know what the answer is. Have you ever noticed how the attacks have become more intense just now that you have begun to seek God more? As the difficulties increased, the spiritual fatigue became heavier, and even your mind began to be invaded by doubts, fears, thoughts of giving up. This is no coincidence, it's strategy. The enemy knows what is about to happen. He felt the movement in the skies. He has realized that you are approaching such a spiritual change that if you cross that line, he loses the control he has been exerting over areas of your life, and that's why he's trying to stop you now, right now, not before, not when you were distracted, discouraged, disconnected, but now when your spirit began to awaken, when your faith began to align with God's purpose. The enemy does not fear those who watch videos like this out of curiosity. He fears those who listen with an open heart, who receive as revelation, who make decisions based on what heaven is talking about. That's why in the last few weeks you felt an unexplained body weight, difficulty sleeping, or repeated nightmares, people close to you acting strangely, generating conflicts out of nowhere, negative thoughts invading your mind, suddenly feeling of discouragement, even for no apparent reason, a strange feeling that something's wrong with you, but you don't know what it is. These are spiritual symptoms of invisible warfare. They are the signs that there is an attempt by the kingdom of darkness to stop you before you receive what is coming. The enemy wants to make you discredit it, wants you to doubt the message, treat it as just another video, just another word, but you know you're feeling that this is not just another video, this is a revelation. The sky is talking to you, and what you do with this message now will define the next chapters of your story. Heaven is telling you, don't stop now, don't let yourself be carried away by appearances, don't allow the fight to silence the prophecy. Keep listening, keep believing, keep declaring God is with you. The battle may have increased, but that's because the victory will be greater. And if you receive this message, if it makes sense to you, write in the comments, now the fight is great, but the victory is greater. Type this, now the fight is great, but the victory is greater. This will be your public declaration of faith. This will be your confirmation that you have understood what heaven is doing, that you are prepared for the cycle that is beginning now. Leave your like to help this message reach more people, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to continue receiving messages from heaven that will prepare you for the next phase of your journey. God bless you, and until the next revelation.